All right, let's get right into it. We're tackling one of the biggest questions for any South African investor: retirement annuity versus a tax-free savings account. You've done the hard work, you're financially stable, and now you're ready to build some real wealth. But where do you actually put your money to make that happen? Well, that's what we're here to figure out.
This is that incredible moment. It's the point where you shift from just being stable to actually building financial independence. But let's be honest, it's also where you hit some pretty tough choices. So to help you make sense of it all, we're going to lay out a clear roadmap.
And to guide us on this journey, let's meet our case study for today, Believin Stephen. Now, Stephen is probably a lot like you. He's got his financial ducks in a row, and he's ready to take that next big step towards building serious, long-term wealth. Think of Stephen's journey as our real-world example. He's put in the work to get his finances sorted, and now he's asking, what's next? By following what he does, you're going to get a really clear picture of what the best path might be for your own investments. Okay, so before we jump into the whole RRA versus TFSA debate, let's take a quick look at how Stephen even got to this point. It's a simple but really powerful 5-step plan that built his financial foundation. So as you can see, Stephen has already nailed those crucial first steps. He's debt-free, he's investing in low-cost ETFs, and he's already started putting money into a TFSA. It's this solid base that lets him now focus on the really big question: what's the absolute best way to save for retirement? And that brings us to the main event, the showdown between a retirement annuity and a tax-free savings account. Believe me, this is a debate that has some pretty passionate arguments on both sides. We've all been there, haven't we? You hear one thing from one person and the complete opposite from someone else. It's so easy to get overwhelmed by all that conflicting advice and just end up doing nothing. But don't worry, we're about to cut through all that noise and just give you the simple, straight facts. So let's break down the key differences here. With an RAA, you get a tax break on your contributions right now. But with a TFSA, your money grows and comes out completely tax-free later. And here's a huge one: access. RAAs are basically locked up until you're 55. A TFSA, it gives you total flexibility. These are really, really crucial differences to get your head around. All right, now for the fun part. To see how these differences really play out, we're going to stage a 30-year investment race. It's simple: 2 accounts, 1 investor, and at the end, 1 clear winner. So let's set the rules. Okay, here are the rules of the race. Our guy Stephen is 35. He's going to invest 3,000 Rand a month for 14 years, and will assume a 10% annual growth. But here's the kicker: the secret weapon for the RAA, a 12,960 Rand annual tax rebate that gets put straight back into the investment. Ready? Let the race begin. And after the first leg of this race, that's the 14 years of active saving, the retirement annuity just rockets ahead, building up a pretty commanding lead. So after those 14 years, the TFSA has grown to an impressive 1.075 million Rand. Not bad at all. But look at the RA. It's pulled way ahead, hitting 1.425 million. And the secret to its early lead? It's that powerful reinvested tax rebate, just supercharging its growth year after year. But hold on, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Now, Stephen stops contributing. For the next 16 years, both accounts are just left alone to do their thing and compound until he turns 65. The RRA might have the lead, but you'll see the TFSA is running a very different kind of race. And in a pretty dramatic comeback, as they cross that finish line, the TFSA surges from behind to win the race. So what was the deciding factor? Well, it was the only thing that really matters: how much cold hard cash Stephen can actually spend after the taxman takes his cut. The TFSA grew to an absolutely incredible 5.3 million Rand. And you know the best part? Every single cent of that is his to keep, completely tax-free. What you see is exactly what you get. No strings attached. Now the RA, on paper, it grew to over 7 million Rand, a much bigger number, right? But after Stephen takes his tax-free lump sum and pays tax on the rest, he's left with about 4.7 million. So in this very specific race, that upfront tax benefit was ultimately wiped out by the tax bill at the very end. So the TFSA won this particular race, sure. But, and this is a big but, that doesn't automatically make it the right choice for everybody. The numbers are only one part of the story. Now we need to look at the bigger picture to figure out who the real winner is, for you. It really boils down to these fundamental trade-offs. The Roth IRA gives you a tax break right now and forces discipline by locking your money away. The TFSA, on the other hand, offers you incredible flexibility and that powerful tax-free growth. But that freedom can also be a real temptation to dip into your savings. And you have to look beyond just the numbers, because other things come into play. RAs offer creditor protection, which is a massive plus if you're a business owner. But if you are even thinking about emigrating one day, the TFSA's flexibility is an absolute game changer. And remember, this doesn't have to be an either-or decision. A hybrid approach can be super powerful. For instance, you could max out your TFSA first for that flexible, tax-free growth. Then, any extra cash you have for retirement can go into an RA to get that tax deduction and the forced discipline.
And this, right here, is the key takeaway. There is no single best answer that fits everyone. The real winner isn't the type of account, it's the strategy that perfectly fits your life. Are you self-employed? Are you planning to move abroad? Are you good at not touching your savings? Your answers to these questions change the game completely.
So, you see, the final question isn't which account is better. The real question is, which account is better for me? Does your future need that locked-in discipline of an RRA, the pure raw flexibility of a TFSA, or maybe a smart combination of both? Understanding these trade-offs, well, that's the key to making the absolute best choice for the future you're busy building.